Greetings, loved ones, and welcome to Affirm Peace, a community journal of life where everyone's story is meaningful. I am your hostess, Rebirth, aka Tam B, and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have a special guest, as always. Y'all know what it is, but we always have to go with our mental health check in questions first. I recite them. You start thinking about them, journal them, DM me if you want to talk about some things. This is a safe space for us to grow together and learn from each other. So, question one: how are you feeling today? Is there anything from yesterday that is bothering you today? Question two: what thoughts are running through your mind? Question three: how does your body feel? And question four, my most favorite question: what or who do you need to support your mental health today? So, like I said, do what you will with those questions. Jot them down in your journal. We should ask ourselves that or each other that every single day just to have that mental clarity and that mental check in because you never know. So, without further ado, I am going to have my special guest introduce herself, and it is just a joy to have her on the show today. So, how are you, love?
Hi.
And go for it. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Eva with We the People of Wyco. Here just to talk.
Yep.
See what Tam has.
Yep. And Tam got some things. No. So let's start out with what situations occurred that made you want to create We the People of Wyco?
So I have been a lifelong Wyco resident.
Okay.
I grew up here.
Wyandotte.
Yes, a dot.
Yes.
So my family immigrated from Mexico.
Okay.
And they decided this was home for us.
Okay.
Lived here my whole life, like I said, and pretty much just lived, right? But not really paid attention to the world around me.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I want to say, I got a property tax appraisal sheet from the county.
Okay.
And like every year, you get them and you see them, and it says this is not a bill, so you just put it away.
Right.
And I started to notice my bill just kept going up, my mortgage payment.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to the insurance people, reached out to the lender, and everyone said it's not us. The portion from us has been consistent for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So the only other thing was the tax portion.
Mm-hmm.
So I started digging a little bit, understanding where that was coming from, and that was my start to this.
Okay.
Trying to understand what makes this up, what does this money go for?
Yeah.
Who's making the decisions here? And that was where my involvement started.
Okay. And we are about to get into those questions here, but I got a little bit more before that. So, how many years has We the People of Wyco been an organization?
So, We the People's new.
Okay.
We started it last year, I want to say in July.
Okay.
And it was a very organic thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that we had planned for a while.
Okay.
The start of this was truly, we were at a commission meeting.
Okay.
And Steve, my partner,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, who are you taking notes for? Who do you work for? And I said, I don't work for anyone. I just want to know what's going on.
I know that's right.
And I'm not going to remember all of this, so I need to make notes.
Right.
And at that point, I was just posting on my own
Mm-hmm.
social media. Really, because I don't believe people don't care.
Yeah.
I think they just don't have the time to
Right.
commit to it. But if you can go and capture the information and put it out in a digestible manner, I think people are receptive to it, and people are hungry for that.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. After that, me and Steve were just like, I'm doing this, you're doing this. Why don't we team up and do this together? And that's where it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it came in. And we, the people of Wyco, was a thing.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. All right. So, what is your perspective on property tax and the property appraisals? Let's just get into it, because my mind on it is just, I'm just put it out there, so ignorant. So I try to my best to grasp as much information from anybody that I possibly can, because it can be so much and so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So what is your perspective on everything?
So again, I'm still kind of learning all of this.
Okay.
So I can't tell you that I know it all.
Okay.
I can tell you that as a homeowner, I think the logic behind it doesn't make sense, right? The increases, the assessed value. So there's a difference between your appraised home value and then there's the assessment that they put on that, right? And I'm not entirely sure where the logic comes from that, because if you actually look at your, if you go online, you can see all of your information. You start looking at what comps are being pulled. Sometimes those comps aren't really in alignment with what your own home looks like. But what I can tell you is that across the board, everyone feels they are unfair.
Yeah.
I can tell you that the people that appeal them are usually successful. And that tells me that there's something wrong. Because if they were done correctly the first time around, even if you were to appeal, they would come back and say it was done correct the right way, the first time around. What else can I say to that? There seems to be a lot of unknown, and I think that's what really frustrates the community.
Okay.
When we ask, how are these done? Meaning the appraisals, how is it that they're coming to these determinations? Who is appraising our homes? How often are they being appraised?
Right.
There's not usually concrete answers to those questions. So it's hard to just buy into the idea of this is correctly done when it doesn't appear to be that way. The other part of this is understanding the subsequent process of this. Whenever you do receive that tax statement, I guess, for your home, your property tax statement, there is an appeal process. And I think as a community, we are uninformed in what that looks like. And when you're uninformed in something, even if it's a very simple process, it becomes enormous.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that the community has done, not the community should own it, right? But the UG should absolutely own the responsibility of educating the community that they serve.
Most definitely.
And I don't believe that that's happening, right? So when you have all of these components kind of piling up on top of each other, it not only creates, but it magnifies the frustration of the community.
Right.
And when you bring these concerns to your elected representatives, and many times you don't get answers or even a response, right? Then that amplifies that frustration.
Well, do you think everybody up there, as far as the commission goes, they understand the process themselves?
I don't.
Yeah.
So I will tell you, part of We the People is showing up to these meetings.
Right.
And I go to these meetings pretty routinely, and if I'm not there in person, I am at home watching. With this recent change they just put in with changing the schedule, it makes it a little bit more difficult to make it on time.
Right.
So I've been watching from home, right? I will tell you, a lot of the times, a lot of the information that happens at standing committee does not translate to the Board of Commissions as a whole.
Right.
Now, that's a problem, because we are to believe that the full board is going to be well versed on what happened at standing committee.
Right.
And unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
Mm-mm.
The same questions that happen at standing committee are sometimes reiterated at the full board,
Right.
or there is a complete lack of understanding of what is being discussed.
Exactly.
There's questions that are so out in the left field that you're just like, are we having the same conversation here? Because there's truly a disconnect.
Yeah.
Um,
So this is one question that I have as far as that goes. Every commissioner is not at every standing committee.
mm-hmm.
So do they actually give all the information to the other commissioners, or do they have to just wait till the full commission agenda comes out and then they get that information then?
No, so how it's supposed to work, from my understanding,
Okay.
right, is the standing committees is where the topic is discussed.
Right.
Whatever happens, whoever comes to present, whether it's the staff, whether it's our legal team, whether it's anyone that is there to
Mm-hmm.
comment on the topic and provide some insight, all of that gets captured in that, and all of that is somehow summarized in a manner that anyone on the board should be able to have access to
Right.
it.
Okay.
How that's done, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whether it's given off to the board members and they simply don't look at it, I don't know.
Yeah.
We have to understand these aren't, I don't want to say full-time positions.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the pay these commissioners get,
Mm-hmm.
it is very little.
Very. It's very little.
It is so, and that's actually a question that I've actually posed to the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that the work that these commissioners are doing is a full-time job?
It depends on the work that the commissioner is actually doing.
Right. No, 100%. But my argument to that is this: if we are paying people so little,
Mm-hmm.
are we really in a position to hold them accountable for any results?
Right. That's true.
We need to not only expect, but also pay people for their time.
Right.
And if we're not willing to do that,
Mm-hmm.
then we are at an impasse.
True. So, how did you feel about the increase that was put out there, the suggested increase that was put out there last year before the whole
Mm-hmm.
election and everything?
I will tell you that I want to say the prior, maybe the two prior, the approach was to utilize people in the community as volunteers. When you have that kind of approach to such an important dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
you can't bring a level of accountability to that. As a volunteer, you show up when you can, if you
Right.
can.
Right.
As someone that is in that position, you are accountable for delivering results in that position.
Right.
And I think it's very hard to expect real results from volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the topics, the conversations, everything that is government is not something that should just be brushed off
Mm-hmm.
with little to no importance, right? When you are balancing budgets, when you are making decisions that affect community members, when you are trying to implement solutions in marginalized communities or uninvested areas, that takes time.
Right.
And it takes commitment, and it takes dedication, and it shouldn't be when you can.
Right.
It needs to be dedicated.
Yes. Dedication and commitment.
That's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you know what? That brings me to this question. I'm about to jump some things.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on the governance with the new commission and the new mayor right now?
You know, it looks like there's a lot of positivity.
Yeah.
I can feel that there is a change.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited about that. I think coming off of the last administration, I think you could also feel a tension, right?
Most definitely.
There's also I will say this, the changes that have happened, specifically the timing changed
Mm-hmm.
to a 5:30 start time,
Yeah.
and the lack of public comment at the full commission.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily in agreement with those, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
There is, I want to say, kind of a desire to make things more convenient for those that are in those seats.
Yeah.
And I will say the convenience should be for the community. If the community cannot get to those meetings at 5:30, how dare you change them?
That's true, because technically you work for the community, not the other way around.
And the idea that this board has other jobs outside of this, I can sympathize with that.
Yeah.
100%. But everyone that is in those seats chose to be in those seats. They raised their hands and said, I want to serve this community. Serving that community comes with sacrifice.
Yes.
And sometimes that time is going to be your own personal time.
Yeah.
And to say we have a group of people that have personal lives outside of this, and they have to work their full-time jobs, and on top of that they have to be here, and we shouldn't expect them to be here like it was in the last administration till sometimes 12, 1 in the morning.
Right.
I agree something needs to change.
Yeah.
But that change can't come at a cost to the public.
Yeah.
And being able to get there and being able to have that awareness. I will tell you, saying you can access it through the UG as a recording, sometimes that is not good enough because it's retrospectively, right? So if it's something where you need to be interactive with, you've missed that opportunity.
Exactly.
The other part of changing where public comment happens, again, no problem with the change. The problem to me is the lack of education.
Yeah.
If as a community for the last 4 years we've had public comment in this mechanism, yes, they've came on and they've explained, now it's going to be a standing committee. But what does that mean? Right? For me, I understand it. I'm in this. I live in this.
Right.
But to someone that doesn't understand how this works,
exactly.
You've now changed a model where you can give public comment in one space to now having to find out what space you have to show up to.
Right.
There's 4 standing committees. Now you have to not guess, right? But these meetings, while they have a start time, they don't have an end time, right? And you can assume they're going to happen on or around a certain time, but sometimes these meetings also go very long depending on the topics.
Yes, they do.
So I think, I don't know, I'd like to see that rolled back somehow.
Yeah.
I will say, based off what we were just talking about, sometimes what happens in those standing committees does not transpire over to the full board.
Right.
And I think a lot of times public comment matters because there is an emotion that cannot be captured in written text.
Exactly.
There's a sense of urgency that you can't convey. And if we are to believe that all of that is captured in maybe a written format for all of the commissioners to read, some of that message is lost.
Of course. Of course it's going to be lost. And even if it's not lost and it's there, it's going to be lost in some way, shape, or form. So I won't touch on that. So do you have any solutions that could help the committee when it comes to those staggering increases with the property taxes and things of that nature?
You know, honestly, I think we get back to basics. Yeah. I know everyone says that.
Yeah.
But I think that is the solution. We really get back to what are the essentials that this community needs.
Yeah.
And we establish what that is as our baseline. And if we're able to go beyond that, then we look for the extras.
Yeah.
But if we're not able to even understand what our essentials are, what are and I don't mean just essentials like just infrastructure needs, right? Or maybe just health department services. I mean, what are true community needs?
Right.
And those translate in different ways in different parts of the county, right?
Right.
For some people, it may be better services. For some people, it may be more access to the different things that are currently down. So it really is getting back to the essentials and understanding what is that baseline, and then building from there. I think the other part of this is I just lost it. Duplicity.
Okay.
I think there are too many departments probably doing the same thing, that they overlap and cost us money.
Most definitely.
All of those small things are going to impact our budget.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, that's what we're talking about,
yes,
right?
That is what we're talking about.
Whether it is property taxes, whether it's services, whatever it is, the bottom line is we want that budget to look as thin as possible without sacrificing anything.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think for us, the other part of this is it's hard for the community to understand that we, as a family unit, we don't have an unlimited budget. Right? If today I want to do something and my budget says you can't do that something, I don't get to then go to my employer and say, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z. So now I need you to fund that.
Exactly.
Whereas here, as a community, I think for a long time, they've been saying, we don't have any more to give.
Yeah.
And these taxing entities, and it's not just the UG.
Yeah.
Right? There's several of them across the county, and I think part of the community's frustration being directed towards the UG is because the bill comes from the UG, and the lack of information to understand that the UG is in essence the collector for everyone's taxes, and then they just disperse it. But back to the point is, as an individual or as a family, you don't get to have an unlimited budget.
Right.
At some point, you have to say, I simply can no longer do this, so this has to be cut off the budget.
Right.
And we don't see that. And then when we do see those things, they are the things that affect the community before they affect, for lack of a better way of saying it, big business. Right. We start seeing that some incentives that the community small business benefits, those get rolled back a little bit. Or people that are trying to come into the community, maybe those tax abatements that are so, those are the little things that people say, oh, I'll have this kind of leeway for 5-10 years. Those get rolled back. And on the flip side of that, we see $1 billion incentives.
Right.
$1 million incentives. We create these mechanisms, SIDS, TIFs, IRBs, any of those mechanisms. We find any way to incentivize big business for many years.
Yeah. And speaking of that, what are your thoughts about the Chiefs?
So, I am a Chiefs fan.
Okay.
I am. I will tell you, I'm not a diehard Chiefs fan, but if you put a Chiefs game on, I'm watching it.
Okay.
I'm in it for the food. So I'm in it for the friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do I want the Chiefs to come to Kansas City, Kansas? Absolutely.
Okay.
I think we would benefit from it.
Yeah.
Do I want them to come through our taxes? No, I don't. I think right now is not the right time for us to incentivize this, right?
Right.
Perhaps if we were in a different place, if we weren't coming from a budget that increased last year, and from what I understand, will probably increase again. Simply, and it's not that I have any insight to this, right? It's just basic math.
Right.
What they presented last year during the budgeting system said, if we don't increase again, we're going to be in the red, right? In which nothing has changed to say we're bringing in more revenue than we were last year,
right?
To offset that. With that said, the one benefit that we could have had from this deal, we committed it.
Yeah.
The taxes, the local taxes that we would have generated.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we create logic to say a billionaire can not afford the same thing that generates more money for him.
Right.
Why, as a community, we have to front any of that
Right.
bill doesn't make sense to me
At all.
And then to say we're creating an entertainment system that will, there's no way it won't cannibalize on the business that already exists in Wyandotte County. To some degree, it will.
Right.
If we are trying to create an entertainment system that is, an entertainment district that is going to be nice.
Yeah.
It is going to take away from the business that already exists here.
Most definitely.
So how do we justify saying we're going to create this, all of the tax that we could potentially make off of this entertainment district and the Chiefs, we're going to forego it when we are, in essence, saying if someone goes there, makes a purchase there, we make absolutely nothing. And we're okay with that because we want to drive business there, but we are taking money away from businesses that are already established where we would make that money.
Exactly.
So I think, like I said, am I for the Chiefs coming to Kansas City? Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
We want them here.
Right.
Do we want to pay for it? Do we want to forego the profit, the possible tax revenue that we could generate from? Absolutely not.
Right. Oh, I just get tired of, I won't say tired, but so many people are, so what do you think about the Chiefs? What do you think about the Chiefs? And I feel the exact same way about it could just be too much, and it's just not time. It's just not the right time for this to be occurring. Okay, we're gonna get off that. So my next is, technically it's still kind of there. What do you think about the situation of them having to sign the NDA situation?
I think it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
As an elected representative, your number one responsibility is to the people that you serve.
Exactly.
And if you put yourself into a position where you can no longer be transparent with the same people that you serve, that is a problem.
Yeah.
If you can, this deal has created a lot of uncertainty because it hasn't been transparent from the moment.
Right.
And most of these deals won't be, right? We also have to take context into consideration.
Yeah.
When these big deals happen, we never really know anything until everything has fallen where it's going to fall. That doesn't negate that it is a big deal.
Right.
That we as a community should have been more informed along the process, right? All we hear is, we're working on the best deal for you. We're as soon as we have more information, you guys will know.
Right.
I will tell you, a lot of people still don't understand what Wyandotte County has committed. You talk to a lot of people, and people just know the Chiefs are coming.
And that's all they care about.
They don't know the cost behind it. They don't know what had originally been presented as, we're trying to make Kansas City a little bit better, like the bridge deal,
right,
that then got rolled back.
Exactly.
So all of those things, I think people just hear the Chiefs are coming, and that's it. They don't hear the price tag. Now, people that have lived in Wyandotte County for a long time and see their property taxes going up, those are the ones that are in an uproar.
Exactly.
But everyone else, and this affects all of us,
it
right?
Does.
I think a lot of times they say ignorance is bliss, but I say it's not.
No, it's not.
Because right now you may be in a position where you can absorb the hit of whatever this is going to look, but 30 years from now, we don't know what that's going to look like.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, the community investments that have happened thus far, that have been presented as the community is going to benefit from this, even if it's not a great deal right now, we're going to see long-term benefits. They haven't panned out.
Yeah.
And that's actually something that I think would benefit us as a community, right? I think we would want to see a list of where you capture everything that is out there as a star bond project or anything that has been incentivized, for how long has it been incentivized?
Yeah.
How many years do we have left on this?
Right.
What is the projected revenue that's going to come out of this?
Right.
Because after a project gets established, you can capture some kind of revenue projection on that, whatever it is, that project. Right. We always have these deals that come into play where how they get them approved are clear over projections of what economic benefit is going to bring and how it's going to happen. If you start looking at the numbers, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And basic math will tell you it's not going to happen like that. But for whatever reason, these numbers are never questioned. Instead, they just use it, to me, what is very blatantly not going to happen, as justification to push it forward. And when it doesn't pan out, then what?
Yeah.
Then we're in a place where, as a community, you have to resolve it.
Right.
And how do you resolve it? With more taxes.
And that's what they do. More taxes and more taxes. So, do you think that House Reps and the Senate have our best interests at heart?
You know, for a long time, I followed federal level government.
Yeah.
And then I realized I was spinning my wheels because there's so much there,
it's
right?
So much there.
You don't even know where to start. You start, I mean, that's just it. You don't know where to start. The issues are enormous.
Yes.
The solutions are non-existent because you have two sides of an argument that never can find that common ground.
Right.
For whatever reason, it seems like it's more beneficial to just maintain in a status of problem than find a solution.
Right.
So whenever I know we're talking about the state level, but
no, you're fine.
I'm getting there. 3 years ago, when I started all of this, I decided to switch my focus to local.
Okay.
And that is where my focus has been.
Okay.
And in being in the local ins and outs of things, I've encountered several of our state reps.
Right.
But I couldn't tell you if they are. I will tell you with this Chiefs thing. There was a meeting that they did when they were trying to do a presentation on all of this. And what happens locally also happens at the state level.
Most definitely.
There seems to be, I don't know if it's an intentional lack of awareness or if it's just not appropriate, for lack of a better word, to call a spade a spade. But whenever you see these meetings and how people interact in them, it's almost like they ask questions to be able to create specific social media clips.
Right.
Either for or against whatever their position is, right? And that becomes disingenuous.
Yeah.
It makes it so people don't believe what is happening. They don't believe that you have their best benefit in at hand.
Right.
I will tell you, a lot of the questions that happened specifically around this Chiefs project was, can you tell me what the best, what do you think is going to be the best thing about this? Like, what does that question have to do with any of this? Like, you are here as a representative to ask hard questions.
Right.
How is this going to affect our community?
Right.
Realistically, why are your projections so overstated? Those are the kind of questions that these leaders should be asking.
Right.
And instead, we're asking questions that, I mean, you're in essence telling me the sky is blue and the butterflies are over there and the flowers smell great and there's nothing to see here. And that's not real life. Like,
it's somewhat kind of like they truly don't want to be combative in any way or shape or form. They just want to stick with the niceness of things and push it over.
Yeah. But you know what? We have to get away from the idea that asking for transparency is being combative.
Yeah.
We fund this, all of this. This is our money. We should understand how we're going to benefit from it and why it's important that we do this.
Yeah.
And if 1+1 does not make 2, then we should not be moving forward.
That's true.
But I will tell you what I saw in that meeting, and I will tell you what I see sometimes at the board of commissioners do not represent what real conversations in neighborhoods look like.
Yeah.
When Commissioner Bynum said, we've got, I think she said 500 emails in approval for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say I don't believe it, because I think those emails were generated off of the nonprofit app that had been text messaging people, because if you would have just clicked on it, it told you, put your information in and we're going to send an email. So
right.
I don't think people were really understanding what they were doing, other than, again, I want the Chiefs to come here.
Exactly.
So to then say that is the counter to a room full of people saying, please don't do this, and to vote in total opposition to what the community is saying to you, that's not right.
Yeah.
And for them to then say, don't worry, we're going to find other ways, or we're going to benefit for this. We need to think now, not later.
So do you think even if they did vote no, that they would the state would even care, and we would have that seat at the table to actually know what's going to go on and what's going to happen in Wyandotte?
I just don't understand the idea of we forego everything for a seat.
Yeah.
Right? We have to, I understand we need the relationships at every level, because we're not going to be able to afford everything that this community needs just with the tax revenue that we can generate.
Yeah.
But we also have to be very cautious of the tables that we're sitting at.
True.
If you're only inviting me to a table because you need something from me, and that will always be the dynamic of our relationship, then I don't need that relationship.
Right.
And I'm struggling on my own. I don't need to struggle with you with me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really in essence what's happening here, right? Because they dangled some help and said, we're being a good steward from the state to the county, and here's some assistance for your bridges. $135 million is not pennies.
No.
So how we're able to just say, we've allocated this money for this, and then roll it back, that to me doesn't make sense. So is that the table that Wyandotte County wants to sit at?
Right.
Because if you don't have something in writing and all we're going off of is conversations, this is a prime example. You want to talk about you've secured a seat at a table, but what table is that?
Right.
So I don't know. I would say, if we're not getting things in writing, conversations, the he's, the ha's, the whatever it is that you guys are doing to gain favor or to gain those relationships, if it's not in writing and that ink hasn't dried, I don't know that we can count that as that that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, we're gonna get off of that. So what I do have now, we're going to get more into you.
Okay.
So what do you have any limiting beliefs when it comes to working in civic engagement and governmental engagement for yourself?
Limiting how?
So say for instance, if you have any self-doubt about any approaches that you take when you speak for either We the People of Wyco, for yourself, anything of that nature.
I think my the only limits I put to myself is saying, if this doesn't help someone, then don't waste any energy on it. And that doesn't even need to be for myself. I say this all the time, Tamara. Property taxes is a big deal in this county. I'm still at a place where I'm young enough, and I say this to anyone, right? I'm still at a place where I'm young enough to bear the brunt of what it may be.
Right.
Whether that means I get a second job, whether that means I have my kids pitch in, but whatever that means, I'm going to bear the brunt.
Right.
But my drive with all of this is the people that can't.
Yeah.
There's people that are senior citizens they can't get a second job. They are in limited income. There are people that are disabled. They can't go even get a job.
Yeah.
They are limited to whatever they can get from their benefit, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's my only limit. Always try to think of, how does this benefit someone?
Yeah.
And if there is no benefit, if the benefit really is we're helping a developer pocket more money or find a way that they don't have to contribute into this community, I'm not for that. Like, that is where I draw the line. The other limit, sometimes I think I have limits that I create that maybe don't exist there. I will say sometimes I think people will say, let me walk this back.
Okay.
As an immigrant, growing up here 30 years ago, there was a very little Hispanic community.
Very little.
That has exploded.
Yes.
But when I was growing up, my family was very intentional. Don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the outsider, right? And I remember as a little girl, we would also go to Mexico, and I would be with my family, and they would say, "You're not from here." So it was always like this dynamic of, here in what I thought was home,
right?
I wasn't from here, and then I'd go home, and I wasn't from there either.
How did that make you feel?
To this day, I think is something that is one of those chips that I carry on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like, this has been my home.
Yeah.
I came here. My family brought me here when I was 6 months old.
Yeah.
This is where I grew up. I've raised my children here. I'm committed and invested in this community. But when you meet people and they ask you, "Where are you from?" and you say Kansas City, no, but where are you really from? And you have to question, like, what makes you say that, right?
Exactly.
But I think that's probably one of the things that limits me, because I feel sometimes no matter what the approach is to a solution I'm trying to find, people will say, "You're not from here. Like, you don't know how things happen here. Like, you." And I get that a lot from people when I'm having conversations, even whether they're in person or online.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really understand how things happen here because you're not from here. And I'll have to correct people and say,
"How dare you?"
Right? Like, and I don't take offense to it.
Okay.
I don't know what drives that.
Yeah.
But it is something that I think for myself creates this limit of how far or what conversations can I have that people don't feel I'm infringing on what they feel is their home. Right? So
okay. So what were your thoughts when you were offered the position at the mayor's office?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Why?
I will tell you, everything I know governmental wise has been me just digging, me researching, me trying to piece things together, me sending emails there, me sending whatever it is, me figuring it out.
Right.
I don't have a political background.
Yeah.
And I was very clear up front when we had the conversation of we think you're the right person for this team. So I was genuinely shocked.
Okay.
But when I tell you, I was ecstatic.
I bet. I
was over the moon. Politics for me, since very young, have been a passion for me.
Okay.
So I couldn't even sleep. I was so happy because I said, not a lot of people get to do their passion for their job.
Right.
And really my mind went to, if right now I'm able to learn so much and get visibility to what, and it's me doing it after I've been working my real job, what will I be able to help accomplish in that role, and really being able to get in there and build stronger relationships, or connect with the right people to get more information. So no, I was ecstatic.
That's awesome. And that brings me, you went right into the next question. Do you think you could have made a major impact within that position, or do you think you can make more of an impact with continuing with We the People of Wyco?
I think both spaces have their pros and cons, right?
Right.
We the People gives a voice from a first person perspective.
Yeah.
We are able to not only capture the sentiment of the community, we are also able to educate directly.
Yeah.
And see real time, what is it that the community could benefit from, and that's actually something we're working on right now.
Okay.
Seeing how we educate this people.
Yeah.
Because I think the only way we overcome some of the things that we're experiencing as a community is through education.
Most definitely.
So to that point, I think both roles would have been great.
Okay.
I think both roles have their limits, of course.
Right.
With We the People, we only know what we see.
Right.
If we want to take it a little bit further, sometimes we can do something like a Quora request to dig a little deeper.
Right.
But are those fruitful 100% of the time? No, they're not.
Not at all.
I don't know why that is. If you don't know how to ask for what you're asking or what it is that you're looking for, you kind of hit that roadblock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything, I always tell people, anything that we post on We the People is public information.
Right.
Whether we pulled it through a request or we went to a meeting, none of it is something that we generate.
Yeah.
In the position of chief of staff, I have to assume I would have had way more visibility to the inner workings of the different departments, right? So that would have been nice. I will tell you, in the couple of weeks that I was kind of in that role, before we decided to move a different direction, there were moments that I felt like some of the things that I want to talk to people, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's a tough spot to be in. Going from a place where I'm constantly communicating to people and I want people to know everything. So
right.
I genuinely feel great joy when I can have a conversation with someone and have it with someone that is at a base level of 0.
Right.
And they walk away just with a little bit smaller understanding of the world that they live in.
Yes.
And how they can contribute to an outcome.
Exactly.
So that to me is what drives me, just bringing that together. And sometimes I think in that inner seat of being on the side of the UG, you're privy to a lot of information that you just can't share.
Right.
And is it wrong? I don't think it's wrong, right? Because a lot of times processes don't pan out how you originally think that they're going to happen. And if you prematurely start divulging things, then you create this environment where can you trust what is being said, right? Because you say one thing, it doesn't work out. You say another thing, it might not work out. And you're trying to do it from a place of transparency, but people get frustrated with that, right? So, yeah, I think both positions have their limits. Both of them have their opportunities, and I'm good where I'm at.
Good. It all works out in our favor. Always. Okay. What was your first career choice as a child?
As a child?
As a child. We're going back.
Okay. So growing up, my family had very high expectations.
Okay.
I couldn't pick something fun.
Oh, poo.
Yeah, no, so very early on, I knew it wasn't going to be something a clown. I don't
Oh my good night, not a clown.
No, I don't know. Something fun, right?
Yeah.
Like today, something fun to me would be like a makeup artist, right?
Okay. Okay.
Like I think I would have enjoyed something like that. But very
Yeah.
early on, it was very clear, like we're here on business, and
Yeah.
this is an opportunity that not very many immigrants have.
Right.
So we're not here to play games.
Right.
With that said, very, very early on, I knew I wanted to be an immigration lawyer.
Okay. Awesome.
And I'm saying maybe 8 years old. Like that was in my
Wow.
head.
That'll
You
do it.
need to be here and you have this opportunity and you need to do the best thing that you can do with it. And the best thing you can do is help others.
Stewardship.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Okay. So this, I'm sure this has probably ran through your head then, this next one. Have you ever thought, if I changed my mindset, I could change the world?
100%.
Good. I love that. I know that's one thing that I say to myself every day, and I tell my children and anybody who walks my path, I love to ask that question. Have you ever thought that if you change your mindset, you could change the world? And people look at me like, what?
Mm-hmm.
No, I've never. But so I love the fact that, yes.
No, that is a
Yes.
daily for me.
Good.
And when I start to see that my mind is going to a place of negativity,
Yeah.
I'm very intentional about bringing it back to a place of gratitude.
Yes, most definitely.
I think that is how we keep perspective
Always.
of not only where we came from,
Mm-hmm.
but the process that it took us to get there
Yes.
and the
Yes.
growth that came from that.
Come on now.
So,
I
yeah.
love it. Good. Oh, I love that. Okay, what is peace for you?
Peace. Being able to read a good book with some milk duds.
Not milk duds.
Yes, I am. Being able to read a good book and,
Yes.
and some milk duds and then maybe a glass of wine. That is peace.
Okay. Now, how does milk duds and wine
I
mix?
don't know.
Okay.
But
But you
it's
make it
a-
work.
yeah.
Okay. We're
Yeah.
going to leave it at that then. Are you at peace with yourself?
If I think of a period of time and just focus on the today, I would say no.
Yeah. Why is that?
But if I look at it from a lifetime
Mm-hmm.
and where I am today,
Yeah.
I would say yes.
Okay.
I am always thinking about how do I fix something,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's myself, whether it's at my job,
Right.
whether it's within my family, so there's no peace in that.
Yeah. No, it's not.
And it's all the time.
Yeah.
With this the involvement that I've taken on with the community,
Mm-hmm.
that's never ending.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say I'm not at peace personally, but I do think about our future.
Yeah.
And not my future. Like that's the part of almost everything that I do. I don't think of it in the lane of how does it affect me. I think of how does it affect our children?
Right.
How does it affect the next generations?
Because you know that it's bigger than just you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you affirm your peace?
I think that's something that I have to be intentional about, right?
Yeah.
I have to focus on something that I can change or
Yeah.
something I can contribute and see real results. And something like that, I would say my children.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I can't change, but I can give them peace.
Yes.
I can give them small moments of happiness. And
Yes.
those, if I can see it in them,
Mm-hmm.
that then translates to peace for me.
That's beautiful.
So,
I love that. Okay, so we're going to go to your two favorite
Oh,
words
geez. Uh-huh.
and your definition for those words.
Okay. So in Spanish is my first language.
Yes.
We have a word that is apapachar.
Say that again.
Apapachar.
Apapachar.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I like saying that. Apapachar.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
There is no English translation.
Really? I love words like that. Oh my God. Okay, what's the definition?
So that is like you cuddling the soul.
Oh.
It's embracing someone to where that embrace isn't just that of a physical touch.
Yes.
It's that connection with someone, something
Yes.
that transcends
Yes.
the physical aspect.
Oh, I love that.
It really is like touching your soul, like, you know, your loved ones, right?
Right.
Just being in their presence and hugging them, like
Yes.
it's another connection. So
Yes.
that is one of my favorite words.
I love that. Apapachar.
Apapachar.
I'm gonna have to ask you how to spell that.
Yes.
What's your second one?
The second one is resilience.
Okay.
You know, that just seems like such a strong word.
Yeah.
And when you take into, to me, what that means is overcoming whatever comes your way.
Yeah.
And I know that's a very literal definition, but in the context of community,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that is critically essential.
Mm-hmm.
Because we sometimes are reactive
Yeah.
in what we have to face in life, and as a people and as a community, and if we lose sight of resilience, there's no hope.
Right. Not at all. Not at all. Oh, I love your words. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to go into our mental health check-in questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. How are you feeling today? Is there anything from yesterday that is bothering you today?
No, I'm good. I am good.
Okay.
Days like today, the rainy, cold, those are my favorite days.
Yeah.
So, no, I woke up and I was like, yes, another good one. And I know that's weird because a lot of people.
No, it's really not. I mean, of course, we have to love the sun, but we have to love the shadow with the sun. You have to love it all together, the light and the dark. If you can't find that balance, then there's really no hope for you.
Yeah.
If you cannot find that balance. I ain't going to say there's no hope.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You have to find that balance. So I think that's beautiful. What thoughts are running through your mind?
You know, right now, I've been in this mode for like 3 weeks where I feel everything is too quiet.
Really? You think it's a quiet before a storm?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but it feels like it's too quiet. And when it's too quiet, I get anxious. Like, what am I missing? What's going to come? What has it been too quiet because something big is coming?
You couldn't be one of those people. What is that? Is that in, oh my goodness, was it in Japan? Where was it? Where they have a competition to where you just have to be still. And the person that stays still the longest and does nothing is the winner of the competition. And they're trying to take it to the Olympics. You couldn't do that.
Could not. I'm losing.
Oh my good night. Okay, how does your body feel?
I feel good. I feel, but like I said, this weather does me so much good. It just relaxes me.
Yeah.
But even in that relaxation, I have that feeling, you know what I mean? Like in the back of your neck, and something is brewing. I just need to figure out what it is.
Something's about to happen.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my next one is my favorite. What or who do you need to support your mental health today?
What or who? I need my plants.
Your plants, okay. They just bring you peace.
Yes, taking care of them and seeing them grow.
Yeah.
And they're so In tune. I that sounds kind of funny, but
No, they are.
they're so in tune with the energy of your house.
Yes.
And I always feel like if my plants are thriving, it's because my home is thriving.
Right.
And if they start um, wilting a little bit, that is an indication to me that something is off in my home.
Right.
So it sounds strange to say my plants because there should be so many other things, but my plants are a good tool to know, are we good in this home?
Right.
And if we're not good, we got to focus.
Yes, we got to figure it out. Get them back green.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful. Okay, well, thank you. So, thank you so much for coming on. This is your time to do your shameless self-promotion, as they call it. So go ahead and tell the people where they can find you at, where they can find We the People of Wyco. Put your socials out there and let it rip.
Yeah. So, I work for, obviously, We the People. It is a social Facebook page. I do it with another friend, Steve, and we just try to keep the community educated in whatever capacity we encounter. We try to champion the great things in the city, but also call out our areas of opportunity and how we get that progress forward. So, We the People of Wyco on Facebook. Follow us.
Awesome. So, like I said, thank you so much for coming on. This has truly been very eye-opening for me. I'm going to watch it back and be like, let me call Eva. No. But yes, thank you so much for coming on. And to my loved ones, thank you so much for tuning in as always. And if no one has told you today, I love you. You are amazing. You can always do everything that you aspire to do. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do what it is that you are dreaming. And always remember, we don't beg, we don't chase, we embrace with grace. And always remember to affirm your peace. I'm your girl Tam B, and we out.